Hello, everybody. I'm a practicing therapist and I am also a doctoral student of psychology. Today, we're going to talk about avoidance and how they respond differently when you give too much, even when they like you. And when I mean respond differently, I mean that they actually they get pulled away or pushed away when you give too much. So let's first talk about what it looks like, and then we're going to talk about why, like, how they respond to these behaviors. And so, what does giving too much look like? The first one is being thankful continuously for any sort of low effort without expecting change when more rapport is built. This is tricky, and I think we should stop on it. I'm not saying don't be thankful. You should be thankful for whatever you genuinely feel thankful for. I'm not going to change that. It's good that you're a grateful person and that you have a lot of gratitude. I am saying that you are so grateful to the point where you're not expecting more. Even at some point, I'm not saying you're expecting more tomorrow. I'm just saying you're expecting more. And you should, even if you don't tell them right away, you should still be expecting more. And it's hard because you're thinking, if I expect more, he's going to be triggered. If I say this, she's going to break up with me. I'm not saying say it, at least not now, but you should be expecting more. And in fact, and anyone who's at call with me, you guys know this, I want you to watch and see if there is a moment where you can bring this up another time and see the progress. Continue to mark the progress, even in the back of your mind. Because being thankful is one thing, but being so thankful that you don't expect anything better shows that this person, maybe they don't need to change. And as I've mentioned before, changing yourself to some extent in a relationship builds investment. A lot of people, when they put effort into something, it makes them feel more connected to it. They value it more. If a person, let's just say, for example, we have two children, okay? And this example might, be very close to home for me. Let's say you grew up in a well-off family, which I had shared before that I did. That doesn't mean that my parents just gave me money. In fact, I still had to work for what I had. However, they did something very different with my siblings. They actually did give them anything they wanted financially. And what ended up happening is I actually value money and work, and they don't. They're never going to see this video, I hope. They don't work. They just live off my parents' money. And I mean, I think they have part-time I'm not sure actually, but I do know that they don't have much of a value in money because they were given it their whole life. And while I still grew up in the same environment, I had a different expectation. And so I actually do value money a lot. And I put a lot of effort into what I earn and my job. And the reason why I bring that up is because the main difference between how we were raised regarding the concept of money was very different, and we had different outcomes. Of course, there's probably lots of reasons why. There is a lot of reasons why. But I bring this up because if you are giving something so easily, they don't feel that attachment and value towards it. The example of money, some people, they're given money to the point they cannot value it because they didn't earn it. So they're fine with spending whatever on these fancy fairy tale windows that the house won't even sell for because of it. It doesn't add value. In fact, it makes people not want to buy it, right? That's an example that maybe I shouldn't have told you because that I'm not trying to dig at anybody, but I am saying that's just an example, right? People do that. They're not thinking about, oh, if I add this to my house, it's going to add value or decrease value, or it's going to make it harder for people to buy. Some people, if they're just given money and they're just given a house, they'll think, let me make it into a fairy tale cottage, whatever. But it's so custom, it's so specific, and now you've added so much, you've actually just kind of not thought about the value of your money. And that's an investment I would not make because I earned the money for my house. That's just an example. And I don't want to get too much into that, but I'm trying to help you understand. You want them to earn your gratitude. So say it when you do feel grateful, but you want to expect more. And when you expect more, be even more grateful when they give you that. Even more grateful. Like, be more animated about it, be more communicative about it. Even mention it throughout. If something they did that you really felt like, wow, that was something I'm actually proud of, mention it. By the way, I noticed when you did this, that made me feel amazing. To be honest, it's something that sometimes I don't always expect you to be so open, but the reality is I know that you are, and it means a lot. Anything of that sort, because you want to be honest too. You don't just want to say you're so amazing, I'm so happy. You want to be really genuine, okay? The next one is you're not communicating about something that bothers you when you bring it up, and then when they bring it up when they do it, and then you bring it up weeks or months later. To them, they cannot see the original emotion that you had. They're seeing the emotion that was charged by so many other things, by you waiting. And what happens is their mind is going to think, you're not really upset about this, you're just being emotional. And so when you actually bring it up at the moment, they can understand what you're actually feeling. You don't have to do it all the time, but every now and again, it's really important. The next one is, I don't want you to be adjusting your mood to match their mood. They're really in a happy mood, but you're kind of in a bad mood. You can say, hey, I'm kind of feeling a little low right now. I'm happy that you're happy. It's helping me, but I just wanted to let you know. Maybe later we can talk about how I feel. Whatever you want, but you don't have to change your mood to match theirs. The next one is, you don't want to adjust your preferences to match theirs either. This is really important. Your preferences show that you can add to their life and value. And the next one is, you tend to give space when you are expecting something back, not when you genuinely want to give them space. You're giving them space because they made you mad, and you think that makes you secure. Secure people don't do that. I'm just being honest. Secure people do not disappear for 3 or 4 days because their avoidant partner made them mad and they're expecting their avoidant partner to come back with an apology. Anxious, preoccupied people do that. And the reason why some people who are anxious, preoccupied might think, oh, this makes me secure, because you don't need them, but you still are attached to the outcome. And you get disappointed when that outcome didn't happen. A person who is secure, they might think, I need space because I'm angry, or this person needs space because of whatever, but they're not expecting an outcome necessarily attached to it, okay? And so let's just say you do all of these things. It's not against you. I'm not blaming you. I'm helping you. I want to help you. I don't even judge you. We all have mistakes that we've done, so please don't think of it like that. How do they respond when you behave these ways? They actually detach more because of confusion, because they're not operating like this, so they don't really know. And what do avoidants do when they get emotionally flooded? They get detached, okay? The next one is, they actually may take more space because they're not sure who you really are. And I'm not saying you're hiding anything, but because from this angle, from an avoidance angle, they don't really know who you are because your moods are kind of adjusting, your preferences are adjusting, you're giving space when you expect something, you're thankful for low effort, but then you crash out and get mad at them for not doing certain things. They are really confused. They cannot pinpoint who you are, and they think you're emotionally volatile. I'm not saying you are, because their emotions are incredibly steady, typically, unless they have their own trigger. But in their mind, they think the trigger is because of very specific reasons, which it typically is. It's typically when they feel wanting, if there's too much closeness. But they cannot pinpoint your trigger, because part of it is that you're masking what you're really asking for. And so what happens is, they actually don't know who you are, so they're taking distance and space to kind of process what they're seeing. And the last one is, they actually feel pressure because it feels imbalanced. You're showing up emotionally, then you're upset about something, and then you adjust their mood, and they're like, why am I not feeling any of these ways? Why am I not doing any of these things? Is there something wrong with me? Do I not like you as much as you like me? Am I a failure? And so let's summarize what it looks like when you're giving too much. It's being thankful for low effort without expecting more in the long run. Not communicating about something that's bothering you and then bring it up weeks or months later, adjusting your mood to match theirs, adjusting your preferences to match theirs, and using space to expect something, not because you genuinely need it. I hope this video is helpful to somebody. Please like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.